everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I made this accent wall that you see behind me. I'm going to be showing you guys the process, the entire process from start to finish, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys at the end a top secret cheat method that I used to get perfectly cut angles every single time. That's going to be especially helpful to you guys also if you are going to be doing this on a wall with a curved or angled ceiling like I have here. So I wanted to share this video with you guys and share my process in case you guys were also interested in doing this on a wall of your home that has similar architecture. Stay tuned if you're interested to see how I made this.
Okay, so here's a quick look at the before. When I first moved into this house, this particular wall had like a thin layer of this really old insulation, it looked like, and that was attached to a plywood wall. And so the first thing I did was remove the insulation and then paint that wall, so it was like this for a long time before I started this project. Okay, so the very first step with starting this project is just to draw out a pattern. I recommend everybody draw their pattern out on a piece of paper before starting. I went through so many different patterns and ideas before I actually decided on one. So if you're thinking of doing this project, I definitely recommend drawing it out on a piece of paper first and then draw it out on the wall like you see me doing here. So I did pencil first and then I came in with a marker just so it would be easier for you to see in the video. But that's what I'm doing here. So here's what it looks like after the pattern is drawn on the wall. And then the next step I did was to measure the length of each line and then cut the pieces downstairs at my miter saw. At the end of this video, I will share with you guys the method that I used to know which angle to cut each piece at. Now I'm just attaching the pieces to the wall using my nail gun. And also, I'm sorry guys if you noticed some glitchy footage in this clip and also the clip earlier where I was drawing the pattern on the wall. You may see it again in the video. Some of these clips are just damaged. I have no idea what happened with that. I wanted to include this so you can see exactly how I measured the lines and then mark those measurements so I can cut the pieces downstairs. I'll go into a little bit more detail about that later on in the video, but you can just see me here installing the rest of the pieces. I'll explain why those other pieces are dark later on in the video as well. With everything on the wall, next you want to take some wood putty and cover up all of the nail holes and also smooth over the parts where each wood piece connects. So those are the light splotchy areas on the wood, that's wood putty. And then in this next clip here, you see me sanding down that to give everything a nice, smooth, and seamless finish. The next step is to add caulk to the seams. So this is what everything will look like before you caulk. And then in the next clip, you'll see me adding the caulk to this section. And I'll show you a before and after. For those of you who don't know how to caulk, I will leave a link to my blog post on how to caulk in the description below. And just a reminder, this is what our seams looked like before we applied the caulk, and then this is what the seams look like after you caulk. So it just gives a more seamless and finished look to your project. Now I'm just prepping for paint. You can see me covering those dark brown pieces. I actually stained those pieces and was going to leave them exposed. However, I decided against that because I thought it looked too rustic after I painted, and I ended up painting over them entirely. But at the end, I will show you guys still what that looked like in case that's something that you may be interested in doing when you do this project. Here's what everything looks like with the dark brown pieces exposed, but like I said before, I did decide to paint over those. And just a reminder, this is the before. And this is the after. Also, if you like this copper industrial style lamp that you see here, I actually made that as well. And if you guys are interested in how I made that, then I will leave the blog post that I did on that in the description below for you guys.
Okay everybody, so I promised you guys a top secret cheat method, and here it is. What I did was I cut different pieces of scrap wood to different angles on my miter saw, and then I would mark on that scrap wood what the angle was. So I have a 45, 30, 15, 22 degrees, all kinds of different angles, and then when it was time to cut the pieces, I could know which angle I needed to cut it to based on using this cheat block. So I would draw a line, and then I would use the cheat block and hold it up to the wall and just match it up to the line. And that's how I knew which angle to cut to. And then the next thing is that after I drew out the pattern on the wall, I would draw this line, this same line at the same angle on a piece of paper. And I would measure the line, so that's how long the board needed to be. And then I would find the angle using my cheat block. And once I found the angle, I would mark the angle on that piece of paper at the top of the line, and I would mark the angle that I need to cut at the bottom of the line. And I'll insert a picture here of what that looks like. Then I would take the boards downstairs to my basement and cut the pieces. Now, once I got downstairs and I cut my pieces, you just want to make sure that you're cutting from long end to long end. So each angle has a long side and a short side, and when you're measuring your piece, you're always measuring from your long tip over here to your long tip over there. So that's all the tips that I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you decide to try this project and you want to share your pictures with me, then you can follow me on Instagram and tag me in your photos. For more DIY, home decor, and home improvement, hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you are notified every single time that I post a new video.